All right, here we go. We're live. How's everyone doing? Let's get a quick audio and visual check. Make sure you can hear me fine. You can see me okay. I'm also gonna put this down to the chart. And well, I mean, you've seen the title of the live stream. It looks like Bitcoin could have just confirmed that next big dump. There's a lot going on in the market. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of fear and uncertainty and doubt. There's a little bit in terms of, speculative. In fact, I'm not even going to say speculative, just conspiracies that Bitcoin could fall down to 25,000 because whales are manipulating the market. Carl Lacey in the comments, shout out to you, asking me to bring some positivity, please. Unfortunately, that's not what this channel is about. We are the last people with the Four Flies brand to bring you positivity. Really sorry, I'm not giving you what you're looking for there. And that's because this market in reality is quite brutal. It's quite unfair and difficult. And I mean, you've just got to accept that, you know, and if you do accept that, then you'll be in a good place as a trader. If you don't, you will constantly be at the mercy of luck. And being at the mercy of luck is a bad place to be. So everyone's saying it's all good. Unfortunately, on my side, it's completely crapped out, but I'm just going to go ahead because I think it is just my connection. It is absolutely terrible, as usual. So let's get straight into it. We've got a lot to talk about in this live stream. Shout out to those of you who've already hit that like button. I really do appreciate that, because what I spoke to you about in the previous live stream, ladies and gents, was this beautiful rising wedge. I was very clear with you that this rising wedge did not have long left. They usually don't trade all the way up to the apex where the two lines meet, and that means, I said to you in the previous live stream, that we could be looking at breaking out today, which we did according to the UTC time zone. That was at 7 a.m. today that the market fell out of my rising wedge pattern here. And not only did it fall out of it, it then came back up to test the $42,000 level again. Take a look at where it peaked. Look at the right hand side. $41,822 is where Bitcoin topped out right here, and then initiated a very big dump. This dump was about $5,200, which was more than 10%. That's a 12.5% move in the market, which happened inside of 1 hour. And in fact, most of it happened a lot quicker than that. Take a look at that. It even gapped the market down. Most of this dump happened just within about 5-10 minutes, which is obviously clear market manipulation. And there's a lot that I'm going to be talking to you about on those lines, along those lines later on in this live stream. But what we did get initially, just coming off the back of the previous live stream, was the breakdown of that continuation pattern that I was outlining for you in the previous video, in the previous live stream. So if you did tune into that one and you saw my analysis on this rising wedge, then shout out to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate all your support, hitting up the like button, subscribing. We've just hit 89,000. Thank you all very much. Let's talk about where this could go next, because what I was talking to you about in the previous live stream is that if we initiate a dump off this, we could be looking at falling back down to 30, and I gave you all the reasons why I was expecting 30 to fail and what that means for the dump moving forward, which is that we could be ready to hit something like 24,000, 20,000, maybe 22. And I want to break that down for you right now. But before we get there, let's stick to the shorter term signs of TA right here, because what we do still have is we did break out of this. We've then moved down for a little bit of a dump. And what I think that we're looking at right now, ladies and gents, is a bear flag. Bitcoin just came out of a bearish continuation pattern. And the fact that this dump has just almost randomly paused at 36,000, to me, can only mean that this is a bear flag, and a short term one at that, indicating that we could be ready to dump down again a little bit later. Why do I think it's a bear flag? Well, it's quite simple, and this is one of the key ideas that I keep on discussing on this YouTube channel, so please let me know in the comments if it's starting to get a little bit old. But in any trend, you need to correct, and the trends will always pause, and it's important to keep this in mind, because when you look at a chart historically, you will never think about this, but that's actually the main flaw with a lot of technical analysis learning and teaching, is that it will tell you everything that's beautiful to know about a historic trend, but you'll look at the real-time trend right now and you'll think, what the fuck is this? And it is very, very confusing. And so what I like to do is teach these things and apply them in the market in real time at the same time. It's a very, very powerful combination. It tends to work out very well. And so what that means is that if we're in a downtrend, we could end up kind of stabilizing sideways a little bit before continuing that downtrend again. And that's exactly what I think this could be right here before potentially continuing on down. And the reason for that is that if we do really zoom out, let's just drop a horizontal line right here at the $36,000 level. And if we do really zoom out, we can trace this line back to some support. You know, I mean, and it's decent support. I mean, it actually helped the market bounce up a little bit. We found a little bit of resistance here. This is where this rally managed to get a nice bounce up before attacking the $50,000-$60,000 range. So this is definitely a level that has some significance in the market. But of course, when it's sandwiched between two more important levels, two levels that I would consider to be more important, it's almost, it's like you've got a king up here, a king down here, and a pawn in the middle. You know, it's really... it's not a big deal in my opinion. It is something. It is offering the market a little bit of support right now, clearly, but when it is sandwiched in between two very interesting, important levels in the market, usually the market does just kind of collapse down to the next important support level. That's how I like to do my analysis. That's what worked out very well, because I used those very same lines of thinking to tell you that if Bitcoin did plunge below this $50,000 range, it's probably going to go all the way down to 42,000. In fact, for those of you who've been watching this channel for maybe 2 or 3 years now will know that this style of analysis on this YouTube channel has never changed. This is the main form of analysis I do every single time. Why? Because it's so easy to predict. You know, this is a channel for traders. I am a trader. I trade regularly in these markets, and you know what I'm less concerned about is just forecasting where Bitcoin would go, because I like to be correct. I do. It's an ego thing, don't get me wrong, but I'm much more concerned about how I can actually profit from these markets, and more importantly, how I can profit from them safely. And being able to identify gaps in these markets where if we collapse below one level, we're probably going to fall down to the next level. These can afford you some massive, massive trading ranges. I mean, this is absolutely huge. Take a look at this. Let's just measure this. Below $50,000, I kept saying that Bitcoin would end up falling to 42 or 38. A drop down to 42,000 is a 15% range, which I think was super easy to predict. If we stretch it down to $38,000, which was my final target for Bitcoin, that's a 23% move. These might not seem like massive numbers to you. $10,000 gaining a 23% profit is not a big deal. It's only $12,300. But when you leverage that, up and you use, say, 5 times leverage on that kind of move, a 23% move becomes a 115% profit, which is massive. Now that would turn $10,000 into over $20,000, and you can all of a sudden start seeing how actually these are really, really attractive gains. And so being able to spot these kinds of gaps in the market, I think, is an extremely important part of analysis if you're a trader. If you're not a trader, there's almost no reason for you to be doing analysis other than just for fun, but that's kind of crazy. And so that's what I'm looking at. That's what I was looking at above. And if we bring that back down to the market right now, well, it's pretty clear. I've made this very clear throughout these videos that I think below 38,000, the next important level is going to be at the $30,000 level. And the reason that I feel so strongly about that is if I stretch this box backwards a little bit, we can see quite clearly that this is originally where Bitcoin initially actually started to find some resistance right here. Then Bitcoin found some beautiful bounces in this range. Not only did it find, actually it found this one right here. That's one bounce, 2, 3, 4 pretty strong bounces off this $30,000 range. Now this range stretches from 29,600 all the way up to 32,000, but I'm just looking at the key $30,000 level on the dot as being the main area of support. That's where each of these price jumps usually kind of started from. But broadly speaking, it's just a broad range, and it's completely fine to see it that way, in my opinion, because if I am going to be formulating some trades, that's when I will dial into the accuracy. But for now, I'm just looking for the bigger picture, and I'm definitely seeing that this level triggered some very strong reversals. Let's take a look at this one. This strong reversal right here to see we were in a temporary, very small downtrend, but it was still a downtrend nonetheless. We were in a small little downtrend right here. It triggered a big rally to the upside, and we can actually see this measuring it from $30,000 up to the all-time high, triggered a big, nearly 40% move. That cannot be ignored. The next time Bitcoin rallied up from here to $40,000. Again, that's a $10,000 jump that we got just off this blue box. The next time, this one was not so impressive, but Bitcoin still managed to rally up by about $4,000. And the final one, well, that final one is the one that took us to $58,000. So this area has triggered a lot of very, very impressive, trend-defining moves. And for that reason, it is a strong support level in my opinion. And this kind of, I told you about two strong support levels, Bitcoin right now being sandwiched in between them. This is the important one, $30,000 in my opinion, because it's been so significant for the market. So the market kind of gravitates towards it. It should not be surprising to you guys, ladies and gents, that Bitcoin managed to bottom out over here. One of the key things I was very vocal about is that, I kept saying that $38,000 would be the floor for Bitcoin, but I had to prepare. I needed to have a contingency in place in case 38,000 failed. And what I kept saying is that if 38,000 fails, 30,000 would be the next area of support for Bitcoin, in my opinion, because it triggered major market reversals. That's something I was very, very vocal about. So shout out to those of you who were subscribers. Thank you all very much for supporting the YouTube channel. I see you guys in the comments and hitting up those likes. Really do appreciate you. We are doing absolutely amazingly with this channel. It's all blowing up, so thank you all very much for your support. But that 30K range I did mention would be the key area for Bitcoin to potentially bounce at, and so it's no surprise that we got this bounce. And this just proves recently, this is the thing, like the trend can prove certain things historically. This proved it recently. That's what makes this so much more valuable, in my opinion. When you get recent proof of something still being significant, you know that the market's going to keep on responding to it, most likely. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but that I think is a big point. And so if we have fallen, from this other crucial area in the market between 38 to 42, this whole area was resistance. If we've now fallen below it, then it's telling me the only place left to go for Bitcoin is 30. And then the question starts becoming, well, what's going to happen if we dip below 30? Are we going to dip significantly lower? That's where we start opening up the next questions for this analysis right here. I just want to take a second to point out a few comments that we have right here. Someone saying, I appreciate your analysis. Thank you very much. What about the 4chan news? I will go to that in just a little bit. Some of you guys want to play video games. All right, I think that's my sign to get back to the analysis. And so, finding some temporary support at $36,000 is cool. But if you don't actually know what you're looking for, this might give you a false sense of relief. But actually, I've now pointed out to you with this analysis that this level, this yellow line here at 36,000 is support for the trend. The trend is finding support here, and that's great. But directly above was a stronger area of support, which is now resistance, and directly below is a significantly stronger area of support. And Bitcoin will usually, it will trade in those ranges, right? Remember when I was very, very vocal about Bitcoin dropping below 50K, and I made a whole big deal about how if Bitcoin did drop below 50K, it was probably going to fall down to 42, but it fluctuates in this range, we're getting little bounces here. Look, Bitcoin managing to bounce off 43,800, going all the way back up to 46, 47,000 until it eventually falls down to my target of 42. So we can do a lot of we can have a lot of price action in between the two very important levels, but the point is we're going to go down to the important level eventually, and that is what I think is very, very important, because now we start getting questions of, right, well, how quickly is it going to drop down? And that's a difficult one to answer, but we can use previous price history to tell us a little bit about that, because this consolidation period did turn out to be, as I predicted in the last live stream, it did turn out to be, just over a day long. Let's take a look at this. If we measure this from the point that it started to the point of the breakout, that was 1.5 days long, and that's after a pretty significant dump. So I think that, we could be looking at fairly shorter consolidation now. I wouldn't be surprised if this started to collapse even during this live stream, perhaps, and started to dip a little bit lower, maybe even directly after the live stream. But the other, the flip side to that right now is that this thing could rally upwards a little bit. There is still a lot of resistance here. So if this did start to rally upwards, that would be another sign that this is actually going to get slapped back down a little bit. However, the thing to keep in mind now, actually, and we do need to keep this in mind because the picture is starting to shift a little bit. Let me show this to you with the 1 hour Ichimoku Cloud. Take a look at this. We did have resistance here, and what I mentioned to you with this indicator yesterday, ladies and gents, was that Bitcoin was using this resistance to get rejected, but I said that this time it looks like Bitcoin might break out from it, and it did. And so what we're starting to get here right now, and I'm going to show you why, what we're starting to get here right now with this circle that I've just drawn on the chart is that these very short-term resistance signs are starting to close up. We're starting to flip bullish a little bit on the very, very short-term time frames, because Bitcoin has actually had a pretty good time at testing this resistance level. We've tested this $42,000 level 1, 2, 3, 4 times now that we've tested this relative range, and that means if we go up for number 5, our chances of breaking this resistance level, they're starting to increase. At first it's very obvious we're not going to break it, and so on and so on. But the more we test it, the weaker these levels tend to become. And so what we have above is resistance, but how much longer is it actually going to be resistance? I think that if Bitcoin keeps on tapping it, it is still overwhelmingly bullish. So I would certainly still expect resistance here. Keep in mind, that's just a 1 hour time frame. If we switch it over to the 4 hour time frame, we take a look at the Ichimoku Cloud there. Just in a couple of days, ladies and gents, that's just 4 days ago. 4 days away. We're going to start seeing resistance in this same range. If we take a look at where the momentum is in the chart, resistance is already going to be at the $42,000 area from our EMA ribbon on the 4 hour time frame. So it's not as good as just what the 1 hour time frame is telling us, but this is the beginning of a shift. And so that is something to keep in mind. Whereas previously I thought that the chances of breaking up would be quite slim, now if we are able to continue testing these levels, I think it could keep getting weaker. And that's purely because the more we test the level, the weaker it tends to get. And I think that's very important to keep in mind. That's technical theory. It's not a fact or anything like that. Go ahead and do your own research. If you're unsure about it, of course, I'm not your financial advisor. I never will be, never have been. And there's a whole disclaimer in the description for you to check out. But bringing it back to the analysis right there, that's if we do end up punching up. But for the most part, I think this is just a bearish continuation. It's no surprise that we're getting a little bit of a pause in this sell-off at a support level. But like I've said, this is not a significant support level compared to what we have nearby, which is a sign to me that we do need to be almost pulled like a magnet down to these support levels that are a little bit more significant. And like I said earlier on, this is one of the main ways that I've been carrying out analysis on this YouTube channel for years. I mean, those of you who've been around for anything longer than 1 or 2 years, you'll still remember that I've been doing this kind of analysis the whole way through. When I was saying that Ethereum would go from $400 up to $800 up to the all-time high previously at $1,600, I used the same analysis. This is, those of you will remember who've been around for about 9 months now, you'll remember when I was very, very bullish on Ethereum when it was at about $400. I was the one saying that it can pump up massively all the way up to 800, then up to the all-time high, and then potentially even beyond, because there was no resistance, and so it would be trading in massive vacuums. That's what I'm seeing right here. I mean, I saw between 50 and 42 to be a vacuum. That's why we fell straight through. And the reason I saw this so clearly is because on the way up, it was a vacuum. We straight up just rallied straight from 42,000 up to 50,000 as if there was a vacuum gap right here. So I said we'd fall down with the same kind of intensity, which is exactly what happened. In fact, we fell down a little bit faster than we came up. And, it's the same thing I think right here between 42 and 30,000, another vacuum. And the same thing with Ethereum from $400 up to now up to $4,000 was the all-time high. And then, of course, doing it on the flip side as well, because, I'm not just here to buy in this market. A lot of people are quite comfortable just buying crypto and holding on to it forever. I call that just sitting there holding your dick in your hand waiting for something interesting to happen, because I think it's completely unreasonable and, dare I say, in this market, I'd almost call it lazy, although being lazy isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think it is, because as a trader, you stand to make a lot more money. Where I was talking about how I was very, very bullish on Ethereum way back when it was at $400. And that was me becoming very bullish when the market wasn't quite ready to start the bull run yet. And then also deciding that I want to be out of this Ethereum market right here where I'm pointing these arrows at. This circle, this messy circle on the chart right here, was when I made this post inside of my Fourflies VIP group as an investment update, notifying VIP members that I'm strongly considering selling parts or all of my Ethereum holdings back into BTC or possibly even USD, as I feel that this monstrous rise needs to either stop or correct. I said this over here, and hours later, somewhere around here, I can't remember, this was where I sold 50% of all of my Ethereum holdings. So not only trying to be bullish when the market is low, but more importantly, trying to be bearish when the market is high. This is the part that a lot of people screw up on. You'll make a lot of money, but you won't bag those profits, and now Ethereum has dropped in half since that point. So if you didn't have the courage, if you didn't have the willpower, if you didn't even have the desire to lock in your profits, you'd be significantly lower than someone like me right now, who can now re-enter the market and potentially buy back much more Ethereum. And that's the game of trading. We're all about compounding these profits. So it's all well and good that you can buy early, but can you sell at the top? Do you have the balls to do that when everyone is at their most bullish point? That's what I aim to deliver inside of the VIP group. That's, you know, that's how I aim to trade, and VIP members get to see absolutely everything about the trades I'm making. Take a look at this one right here. Just another member in this market at a profit during this crash. I've been learning a lot through VIP. Haven't been trading nearly as much, and I love this. A lot of VIP members, they trade, a lot of people who join VIP, they trade a lot before they join, and they trade way less after they join. I'm talking, you know, maybe down by like 90%, way less trading after they join, but their accounts blow up. They do better, the stress levels are lower, they're making more money, they're making less losses, their losses are more controlled, their wins are more consistent. And I've been seeing my account slowly grow. So instead of massive spikes and then falling back lower than where you started, we're getting more gradual controlled rises upwards, which are reproducible. You know, one of the tweets that I put out earlier today, ladies and gents, is that, you know, luck, results that you get from luck, they cannot be reproduced, but results that you get from skill, they can. And you can stick at them forever, and you can keep on compounding it. And that's where the beauty is. You know, you can get lucky once riding a fucking Doge wave, and you can make a shitload of money, but what happens next? You know, you're not going to be able to keep growing it. You're going to end up losing it because you have poor levels of discipline. One day it's going to work for you, most days it won't. You know, people who've done this alternative right here, they're actually usually in significantly better positions. So I think that's worth taking a look at. 108% profit, 74% profit. Very, very impressive. So you can follow these steps on screen to join /VIP, and I'll send you all the information about it. Click on the first link in the description down below, then on the @ button, and then on send message to ask me how to join VIP, and I'll send you all that information right there. I mean, it's just been absolutely blowing up. I think we're at 1,200 members at the time of me doing this live stream right now. I mean, you know, the results have just been mind-blowing during this massive market cycle. Yeah, nearly 1,200 members. So if you want to get in on some of that, see how I'm trading, gain access to the VIP library and the courses we're offering and things like that with this exclusive discount offer, then the steps for you are on screen right here. Let's take it back to the charts though. I also want to go through your questions in just a minute. So thank you all for dropping your comments here. If you do have more questions, that perhaps questions about things that I haven't covered yet, then please do drop them in the live chat as I go on, and I will be getting to them. Let's switch it over to the Bitcoin chart again. Someone's just said that Bitcoin's dumping. I did say earlier on in the stream that we could even see this dump during the live stream, and it may have been initiated. There's still a little bit of support right here. This is actually pretty much where the support level is, so there's definitely some room for a bounce at the moment. But I think if Bitcoin were to drop below 36,000, if it hit anything in the $35,000 range, that's where, to me, it's bound to pretty much fall down to about 30, and then we would be looking at the next potential recovery happening a little bit later. I'm actually just noticing here that there was a descending triangle. Take a look at this downward sloping resistance. Let me draw this nicely for you so it's a little bit more obvious. This downward sloping resistance here compressing the market down, and then eventually it has to collapse, and obviously right now it's already been leaning bearish because it's a downtrend. You know, that really tells us a lot about where this thing could be headed. So I mean, it's a beautiful market. It's super tradable right now. It's you know, I mean, just on the way down, I even made my 35% profit. We've got other VIP members lapping my gains, which I love to see. I mean, in one trade, this person more than doubled what I hit, so that was pretty impressive. Once again, you know, just pulling profits in this market during a crash, that's what really sets you apart. Because if you do believe that this market is going to continue trending up eventually, which of course I do, then being able to bag these kind of gains on your Bitcoin, on your Ethereum holdings, when you know that these markets are going to continue to rise later on, or even if they don't, you'll be gaining your USD. That puts you in such a powerful position, because this person, for example, if you think Bitcoin is going to hit its all-time high now, that means it's going to have to double. If Bitcoin doubles from here, and you've just doubled your Bitcoin holdings, that means you'll be experiencing a 4x gain on your portfolio if Bitcoin goes back up to 60,000 and you've bagged this 100% profit. So this person has done something absolutely phenomenal, miles ahead of the rest of the competition, purely because he's been trading in a safe, controlled way. He's been able to hopefully achieve some of that through the VIP group. So very, very powerful group to be in during a market like this. Let's go through some of your questions. I am taking a look at them right now. Someone's saying Bitcoin's going to drop to 0. Okay, I've heard that a lot. I don't know, don't really care. If it falls down to 0, you know I'm going to be shorting it, and you know I'm going to be trading it on the way back down. As I demonstrated earlier in this live stream, I have no problems taking profits. So if things do start looking bad, I will just close my Bitcoin positions, and I will leave my investments. I'll take all my investments out. You know, that's completely fine by me. I'm not scared of taking profits in this market. That's why I was able to sell Ethereum very close to the top. That's why I even mentioned to VIPs that I'd be selling Bitcoin. And I said this all the way down at $52,000, where I gave VIP members an in-depth explanation of why I began selling some small holdings of my Bitcoin during this massive rally upwards. You know, not being scared of closing positions, I think, is one of the most important things you could have in your trading skill set, the way this market is headed right now. Let's see what else we have in the comments here. I'm also going to take a quick look at my notes, make sure that I've not missed anything. I see all your questions for VIP, by the way. My assistants are once again online, and they will get back to you shortly. One of the things I wanted to demonstrate to you in this live stream as well, by the way, was just the level of manipulation in this market. You know, we're getting some bullish tweets right here. Tesla has diamond hands. This is an inside joke in crypto, implying that you know, if you have diamond hands, you're not going to sell Bitcoin just because you're scared. You know, then we've got this other guy from Bloomberg, I guess, saying that there's a higher chance of a crypto ETF, exchange traded fund, which is basically great for institutional players with much larger bankrolls to enter the market. And so Bitcoin starts to pump up a little bit. Later on, we start seeing that there is some tax news that's bearish for crypto, and what is this? Treasury calls for crypto transfers over 10K to be reported to IRS. So the IRS wants to know about every transaction in the crypto space above a value of $10,000. They want to know you know, who's sending, who's receiving, different things like that. So it triggers a little bit of a drop in the market. Next one, we get some more China fear, uncertainty, doubt news. China reiterates a call for crackdown on Bitcoin mining and trading, and then Bitcoin dumps again. So you know, we can see that there is obviously quite extreme market manipulation going on in this market right now. Not only are we seeing this at crucial points where the market starts to rise up or drop down, we're also seeing these good old BART patterns again. This is where the market spikes up, trades sideways, and spikes back down. This serves to fuck over as many traders in the market and as short of a space in time as possible. And it's done by high frequency trading bots looking for where the liquidity is in the market. If you don't understand this, that's all to say that if you're regularly aggressively trading in this market and you're losing money, you're probably losing money because of manipulation like this. It's very hard to fight against because you're actually fighting against bots. And if you're trading on small time frames like this was a 5-minute chart, your odds of success are actually extremely low because you do not have the capability to carry out calculations in your head as quickly as a computer does. So you're probably going to lose. And that's why, you know, when I say I'm a regular trader, I do not mean that I'm trading 5 times a day or even 1 time a day. I'm actually trading perhaps a couple of times a week. And I find that's where I'm able to bank much better profits more consistently, and most importantly, avoid the losses. A lot of people are under this false misconception that the more you trade, the more money you make, and it's absolutely not like that. In fact, it's much more about you know, figuring out how you can trade at your best instead of figuring out where you can trade. We're starting to get that dumped down. We're starting to hit the low $36,000 range now, so that's absolutely great. But I think that's a very, very important note. As a trader, you know, it's much more so about you know, how you're trading than how often you're trading. And you know, a lot of people, this is actually very important for traders. So if this is something that interests you, then you know, perhaps take some notes here or something. I think that would be quite useful. But you know, when you're trading, you will actually be served a lot more. And by the way, right there again behind me, we've got the which side is it there? That's the LA skyline. Pretty cool. I'm still getting accused for having a green screen. This is this joke is getting cruel. But yeah, so you know, when a lot of people are trading, what they're actually thinking of is I have X and I want to hit Y by Z time frame. And you know, that might be reasonable if you were in any other field and you set goals for yourself in advance, because then you know which direction you're heading in, you know how to keep on track, and you have a vision to work towards, and it gives you a little bit more focus and things like that. That's cool for anything else that's not trading. The thing with trading is this: if you start taking that kind of approach, you're actually, and I'm watching Bitcoin right now, I'll switch to the chart in a minute, but if you start taking that kind of approach, you're going to be putting too much pressure on yourself. And more importantly, and this is the most important thing that screws over most traders in this market, you're going to be focusing on results, not on your actual trades. And that is where people screw up. You know, people are more interested in turning $1,000 to 1,500, where instead they should be more interested in how to turn 1,000 into 1,500. Instead of focusing on just the dollar amounts, focusing on how you can get there is the hack, so to speak. That's the perspective shift that will buy you the results that you want. Now let's take a look at the market, because that dump is intensifying just a little bit. I don't want to be stuck watching such a small time frame, but this is definitely not something I want to ignore either. But I think that bam, right there, 36,000. So yeah, we pretty much, if we don't get a bounce here, there we go. All right, so floor is gone. Dump has potentially just been initiated. Yeah, it is intensifying. So well, no surprises there. That's a typical continuation pattern. It's now broken down. You know, from the support level that I drew for you guys, we've already fallen down by 2%, pushing 3%. That's a confirmed breakout. Bam, there we go. We've just watched it happen live. We called it live on this live stream. Hit up the like button if that was impressive. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well if you found that impressive. That's a confirmed breakout now. Yeah, we're down by $300. That's it. The support level I drew was at 36,600. This thing fell down to 35,700. That is a 600 plus 300, that's a $900 drop. That is a confirmed breakout, I think, right there. So there you go. Very, very impressive. If you found that impressive as well, then do shoot up those likes. I do appreciate that. But taking it back to that more you know, trading focused, you know, in English, in English the word is soliloquy, I think. But that long speech I was giving you, you know, the thing is a lot of people will be focusing on okay, so by the way, if this rebounds back up, I would be expecting perhaps a little bit of resistance here. If we get that resistance here, I'm going all in short. If we get that resistance here, and I will actually keep an eye on that, because I might actually want to trade this. Maybe that's too much of an aggressive trade, to be honest. Yeah, I don't like trading live, but that might look like a pretty good short position to me. I would have to think about it, because you know, when I'm live on a live stream, I can't have the same thorough decision making that I usually do when I'm alone. But yeah, if this thing does come back up here to find resistance, it's absolutely done for, in my opinion, if it finds resistance here. If not, you know, we could actually be looking at a fake out a little bit like this, and then Bitcoin, you know, perhaps re-enters the range. But the chances of that, I think, are quite slim, because it's now fallen, you know, a few percentage points below my support level. You know, so I would expect that to now turn into a little bit of resistance. Anyway, back to the point of being a trader. When you focus on your system, you're going to be more concerned with how you can trade better, and you're going to be more concerned with spotting where you were doing bad things, where you're doing good things, so you know what to double down on, and you know what to avoid as well. And I think that's very, very important in this market. You know, being able to do something like that is really what's going to set you far ahead, because when you consider that most people are just in here with dreams of getting rich from crypto, but instead you are, you know, literally, you're not even in the same league by thinking things like, how do I improve my stop loss strategy, or how do I improve the certainty I feel when I'm entering a trade? When you're questioning yourself with those things, instead of wondering things like, you know, how soon will Bitcoin fall to 25K so I can buy, or, you know, can I turn 1,000 into 5,000 by the next 6 months? When you stop asking bullshit questions like that, and you start asking more important questions that are actually about the intricacies of how you can get there, that's where you start pulling those results. Those are the kind of perspective shifts that, you know, if you don't have guidance to get there, you can certainly get them on your own. But the issue with all of these things, and it's the same thing with, you know, nearly everything in the VIP group. You know, what we do is pretty good, but you can learn this stuff on your own for sure, because I learned it mostly on my own. But the big drawback here is that this market is hot. It is primed for beautiful trading right now. And if you are wasting time trying to find these lessons, trying to build these disciplines in yourself now, then by the time you have them, the market's going to change, and you're going to have to change as a result of it. If you already have it, you know, I believe I already have it, you can watch somebody like me trading in real time in this market, where I'm not only going to tell you what I'm trading, but also why I'm doing it and why I'm not doing it as well, because there are a lot of trades that I consider doing, but that I don't actually commit to. And being able to see the whole process behind all of that is extremely, extremely valuable. There is a beautiful discount waiting for you right now by following these steps on screen. And if you do ask how to join VIP, you'll get the information about it right now. I mean, the assistants are online right now. You guys are getting your responses as I speak. So if you ask for the details, you will have them probably in the next 30 seconds or so. So definitely take a look at that. Once again, by the way, if you are new to the markets or you already have an exchange that you're perhaps not happy with, then Bybit is the place to be. This is the market that, this is the exchange that I use to trade crypto. I love them. I've been with them for years, and I've never had an issue. I mean, they've got great liquidity. They don't have downtime like Binance. They're not nearly as shady as Binance. Every exchange is shady, but they're not nearly as shady as Binance. And with the link that you're going to see in the description down below, you'll also be able to sign up and gain up to $1,600 in deposit bonuses, depending on how much you deposit to the platform, which means that depending on how much you deposit, you can get up to $1,600, and any profits you make on those $1,600, you can actually withdraw the profits on that. So that is extremely cool. It just gives you extra firepower, extra ammunition for these markets, and there's a link in the description for you to sign up to it. It's worth noting that even if you already have an exchange but you don't have a backup, you need a backup, and trying out a bunch of different exchanges to find a backup, I think, is a great idea. If you don't have a backup, you are opening yourself up to problems in the future, and these are problems that will prevent you from interacting with this market. So I can't see how that could possibly be something acceptable when when you've literally got your money on the line. So Bybit, in my opinion, the place to be. Many alternatives which you can Google if you don't want to use Bybit, but that link down below is going to give you a huge bonus, so definitely check it out. I'm in the United States right now, so I'm using a VPN. Everybody else that I know who uses Bybit in the US does the same thing, and they've not encountered any issues, but of course I cannot endorse that for you. So let's take a look at this. Nothing much to say here, and I don't want to cover such short-term analysis on this YouTube channel because we're not degenerates, but yeah, we have still we're just consolidating again, so it could just be that this is another brief consolidation before another leg down. We see these on large time frames, we see these on small time frames, we see them on medium time frames. So this was clearly a small time frame. This is a very small time frame, perhaps, for a bear flag. We don't know yet, and I don't want to analyze this because your chances of being wrong when you conduct such short-term analysis, your chances of being wrong are so high. So I have absolutely no interest in even discussing those kind of things right now. What I know for a fact is we did fall out of this rising wedge that I said we would fall out of yesterday. I was very certain about it. I kept telling you guys about all the resistance that we had here and why this was actually very concerning. It's not just from this rising wedge. I showed you that we had Ichimoku resistance, we had EMA resistance, we had Fibonacci resistance. I mean, everything was going against Bitcoin right here, and we were in a bearish pattern. So these were all, to me, indications that this thing had to dump lower, and that's exactly what it did. So I think that is fairly straightforward. If we've fallen from this key resistance area, then to me that means we need to fall down to the next key support area, and that is the $30,000 range. So that's why the title of this live stream is all about, have we now confirmed that next big dump? Well, actually, that big dump was already confirmed just before this live stream, really. It was confirmed yesterday when I made the live stream. And now that we've ended up taking that leg down, I mean, we've potentially started to initiate another big waterfall sell-off, which could take us, perhaps another $5,000 lower, down to a support level at 30,000, and from there, where we go next, that is the bigger question, I think. If we do go down there, I gave you a lot of reasons for why I think this level could collapse, but I don't want to talk too much more about that because I covered that in yesterday's live stream. So shout out to those of you who have subscribed, who do hit up that like button. I do, of course, really appreciate you guys. That's why I love getting on these streams daily when this market is hot. You guys would have seen that analysis, so I don't want to repeat it too much in this live stream right here. But ladies and gents, I am ready to start going through your questions. I'm going to go through your questions a little bit and then head over to some more chart analysis. Going to look at things like Ethereum, Cardano, Link, and so on. So if you do have any questions in this live stream today, then please go ahead and drop them in the comments, and make sure that you write my name for flies as well, because that will guarantee that I actually see your comment. If you don't write my name, your comment does not show very clearly for me. When you do write my name, your comment is highlighted in front of me, and that makes it much easier to read. So let's start going through some of these questions that I'm seeing here. For flies, if it is all manipulated so strongly, why does support and resistance matter? We are at the mercy of the whales. It's manipulated, but you can't control it down to, I mean, you could if it was illiquid, but clearly these guys can't control it down to the precise moves. I mean, they can initiate big dumps, but there will always be buyers that support and resistance levels. I'm sorry, there will always be buyers at support levels, and some will have more buyers, some will have less. So the manipulation doesn't really have anything to do with those levels. What about the Wyckoff being talked about? Well, it's finished now. We have had Wyckoff distribution and it's done. Do I know if Bybit will add support for swaps from Bitcoin to stablecoins? They already do. They already do, if I'm not mistaken. You've got the asset exchange. Actually, I've never done it. I've never done it on Bybit, but I'm pretty sure they do. What do I think of the conspiracy FUDs? You know, look, I gotta level with you guys right now. There's a lot of very simple-minded people in this market right now. There's a lot of people who don't know anything about what's going on, and they just want explanations for what's going on. You know, it's like I'm gonna piss off a lot of people here. This is probably a bad idea, but you know, a flood, a tsunami hits. No, let's go with tornadoes. Tornado hits a random city, like a random little island, and there are very religious people. They will make up reasons in their head for how it's God punishing them for whatever bad things they've done, whereas in reality it's just climate change is starting to ramp up a little bit, so the climate is a little bit more unstable, and that means more tornadoes for everybody. That means more floods for everybody. That means more droughts. It just means more extreme weather. They would put it down to God. They will try and make up their own explanations for it, but in reality it's just the way things were going to happen anyway, and there's a scientific explanation for it. That's the same thing with these conspiracies that we're seeing in this market right now. These are just people who don't know any better. They're panicking, they're hurt, they're scared, they want to explain it to feel comfortable, so these rumors start getting spread. You know, the key point for these rumors, ladies and gents, is that if you look at any other big dump like this that we've seen with Bitcoin in the past, you won't be able to remember what those rumors were, because they were false, because they weren't a big deal. So in the moment, it will always feel very interesting, very noteworthy. But when you look back, nobody cares, because at the end of the day, it's just the TA, the technical analysis, the numbers that will tell you the story. And this was very obvious. We fell below $50,000, so we were gonna fall down to 42. This was one of the key bits of analysis that I kept giving you guys on this YouTube channel. We fell below 50 over here, so we were gonna fall down to 42. I said that if we fall down below 42, we're gonna fall to 38, and if we fall below 38, we're gonna fall to 30. We interacted with each of these levels and found support, you know. So when you look at it that way, what conspiracy? You know, it's just that there's empty trading ranges. There's no support to be found between 50 and 42. What other reason can you give for why Bitcoin fell below these levels? I can make up 100 reasons for it, but at the end of the day, the real reason, which was the technical analysis, in my opinion, was already there. And that's the one that you can't manipulate as easily as mainstream media, as a fucking 4chan article, or Reddit rumors, people spreading bullshit in discords. You know, people will talk, and you know, I'd have to urge you to question who you're getting your information from. You know, because me personally, there's nobody that I get my information from. The only thing I do is I'm analyzing these charts, and you've seen, I mean, a lot of you guys come to this channel because I've got a much calmer perspective of the market, and I happen to you know, predict or you know, lay out the probabilities of what's going to happen fairly well because of that. You know, so not only has it got me calmer and less worried about the market, but my analysis is more sound, and my trading tends to work out better because of it. VIP members tend to do very, very well learning through the content that we've got inside of the VIP, trading less frequently but with better results, and so on. It's just absolutely beautiful. So you know, that's my take on the conspiracies. There's always going to be conspiracies. You know, some might actually be true, but how much energy are you going to put in to find out which ones are true versus how much energy am I putting in to just read the chart? You know what I mean? And it is you know, a lot of people will say, no, but I can't do it, TA is too hard, you know, I don't understand it. And my response is that you're just, you know, this is something where it requires your undivided attention for maybe a week so that you can learn the languages of these charts, which we've got, by the way, courses on. So we make that easy for you as well. By following these steps on screen, you can join our VIP group and then get free access into our educational courses where we tell you all about what trading is, what it means, the different exchanges I use and how I use them, the concepts, the theory behind trading, the analysis, the tools I use, the psychological battles, everything laid out from A to Z in these courses. We've even made that easy for you as well. And you just need to give your attention to a course like that once to learn the content. And afterwards, it's like driving a car. At first, it's obviously going to be a little bit difficult, but later on, your mind starts working on autopilot because, I've seen these things before in this market where we'll collapse below an important support level, find support at the next one. This becomes a little bit predictable, and crucially, when you've got the psychology of the market so strongly ruling over what happens, it becomes way more predictable. If there's anything that's easy to predict, it's psychology of humans. So if you feel like you're good at that, then you're right in your comfort zone in trading and you just don't know it yet. There you go. That's an important tangent. Someone's asking me, Four Flies, will I hold or take profit on a dead cat? Both. I will do both. Let's see what other questions we have here. Four Flies is the whale. Do what he says so you can buy all your coin at 30k again. I am definitely not the whale. I can promise you that. Definitely far from being a whale. But I'm flattered. Someone's asking me how far do I think Bitcoin will pump? I think Bitcoin will set new all-time highs eventually. So at least $30,000 up from here. Will altcoins go down together with BTC? Well, I can't tell you that for sure, but so far they haven't been doing amazingly, have they? So far it's been pretty bad from what I've seen. Let's see, Tron against Bitcoin has dropped, and Bitcoin has dropped. Link was at $40, now it's at $24. Actually, my God, it was at $50, now it's at $24. So it's pretty clear. Look, the reason that these markets do very badly when Bitcoin drops is that Bitcoin is the big crypto in the space. So Bitcoin is the one that people feel safest with. It's the one that's been around for the longest. It's the one that has all the institutional backing. It's the one that's actually been regulated. It's the one that, compared to others, is less decentralized. Maybe not maybe not the least decentralized, but it's less decentralized than most. It's got all of that backing behind it, which makes it very interesting, makes it beautiful, makes it exciting to hold. And if it still suffers, if it still drops, what does that tell you about the confidence that people have in the rest of the crypto market? The rest of the crypto market, which is less liquid, has much more manipulation, has a smaller market, which means that it crashes harder, which is newer, has not stood the test of time. I can go on for hours. Just the fact that these other markets do not have as much backing as Bitcoin, yet Bitcoin itself, the big king, falls. What is that telling you about where the rest of the market is going to be? People already will generally have less confidence in the altcoin market because it's smaller and for all the reasons that I pointed out, which means that they're already taking bigger risks. They're doing this out of speculation and excitement. And, if that is the case, then actually, you're not in a particularly good place if you're looking at altcoins compared to Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin, the one that's supposed to be safe, does not look safe, then what do you think is going to happen to the rest of them that already never looked safe? That's my question to you about altcoins. And it's already been proven with the numbers. These altcoins are getting hammered right now. Nobody is even touching them. Nobody wants them because the whole market looks like it's in a tragic place, and that really scares a lot of people. It's precisely that fear which has got me excited and considering actually buying some of these altcoins up. But of course, those kind of updates are reserved for VIP members only, because I share all of the information on the trades that I'm making with VIP members, which you can find on screen right here. I've considered a few positions during this market, and of course, as usual, I'm briefing VIP members on what I'm thinking. All the trades that I enter and consider, they are shared with VIP members from start to finish, including the real-time updates of you know, how I'm adapting the position or taking profits or managing a loss and so on. A lot of very, very useful information in there. But let's go right back to your questions, see what else we have here. Can we use Bybit in India? I don't know, but if you're concerned, a VPN always works. What would indicate a reversal to me when you would be confident in going long? That would be a question that I could answer a lot better. So we are actually recovering. Take a look at this. Bitcoin's at 36,300 now. That would actually be a question which I would prefer to answer if we get something bullish. But what that would look like is potentially one big lightsaber pump up. It would be breaking a level like 42. If Bitcoin managed to rise above 42, I would be pretty optimistic about the market. It would be, you know, potentially forming some sort of double bottom pattern. It would be indicators starting to show me that they've gone from bearish to bullish. Any number of things, and it's always a number of things. So, you know, I'd have to consider it when the time comes. People who sold off are going to use profits to fuel the next world war. I'm not so sure about that. Forflies, is this the end of a possible all-time high for Bitcoin in 2021? How long to recover? I definitely don't think this is the end of the bull market. Maybe I'm in disbelief, but this right here, ladies and gents, is not how a bull market ends. You know, listen, I'm the guy who's bearish all the time. I'm the guy who's always warning for caution. I'm the guy who's taking profits at $50,000, you know, $52,000, who's selling Ethereum at the top and writing out big you know, explanations for why and so on, which means that I'm the last person to tell you that I think this bull market is not over yet. You know, like I said at the beginning of this live stream, you know, I'm completely fine with buying crypto. What I'm also completely fine with doing is selling, and most people can't do that. You know, that's why where I was in a position to sell Ethereum when it was at $4,000, most people have rode it down by minus 50%, down to $2,000, purely because they don't have that decision-making ability to make quick, important decisions in this market. If you don't have that, you've got nothing inside of this market. You know, in answer to your question about the all-time high, you know, because of that, because I've got that brutal willpower to take profits in these markets, which I think everybody, well, most people shouldn't have, because then I wouldn't be able to make money, but you know, you guys should have for sure. You know, I am the last person to tell you that this is not how a market tops out, but it's not. You know, for Bitcoin, you know, other markets might top out like this. This is a clear distribution pattern where the market is ranging a lot, and this ranging basically means that Bitcoin averages a price, let's say around $56,000, which if the price falls down to 30,000 is a very attractive exit price. Selling at 56 looks very smart when Bitcoin is down here. That's why I was also selling on this rally up here, purely for the same reasons. And so, you know, if we do start to get you know, a sell-off like that indicates that a lot of Bitcoins have been distributed by smart people in you know, because they were expecting a drop down, which is very, very obvious, I think, now in hindsight, because we painted this pattern. But you know, what we are missing with this picture is that a market cycle like this, which is accompanied by a lot of euphoria and a lot of people making a lot of money, it doesn't end with such a sensible consolidation phase. Because like I just said, Bitcoin was able to average, you know, perhaps average a price of about $57,000 during this range. That's not indicative of a market topping out. If a market topping out just before it tops out is literally trading sideways, you know, slowly pushing all-time highs, but for the most part, you know, having nice pull downs, having nice drawdowns before it continues rallying up. If a market is showing characteristics like this, that does not mean that it's reached peak euphoria. That's my big argument in this market right now. Let me blow up my camera because I'm about to give you guys some real talk right now. You know, this market, a market cycle like this that is characterized by such extreme moves to the upside, it will usually end with extreme moves. You know, it's like there's a massive firework display here and the biggest one gets let off at the end. But if we switch it back to the chart, this is not a big firework at the end. This is a cracker, you know, like this is nothing extreme. This is nothing euphoric. We're not getting one final blissful rise up to the all-time high and then a very, very quick minus 50% crash and then rallying back up because it's a relief rally and then falling back down. No, we're not getting that. We're consolidating. My God, this is consolidation. This is good. This is healthy in the market. This is just distribution. Nobody gets to distribute at the end of a bear market. I'm sorry, at the end of a bull market. This is my big point. you know, and so and it's coming from me. Like, I'm the guy that's bearish. I'm the guy that's selling my crypto at the top. You know, I'm the guy that you know, is telling you right now we could be going down to $30,000. You know, like, if I'm saying it's not because I want to give you dreams of becoming millionaires, because, you know, as I always say, I'm the first one to warn you guys. You know, most people won't do it. Most people are better off not even being traders. I'm the one saying that this is not how a market ends, how a market cycle ends. Let me show you how a market cycle ends. I mean, I've made this point a few times, so once again, in the comments, just let me know if you're getting a little bit bored of it. But you know, this is how, you know, you're not getting it. Nobody's distributing up here. You know, there's one lucky guy that, you know, is completely lucked out in life. He's got the best genetics and everything. You know, God knows what other luck he has. He's the guy who sold at the top here, or woman. And you know, and that's how a market ends. I mean, you're getting a very, very big rise to the upside. And, you know, just to put this into perspective for you, I mean, this took Bitcoin literally 1 month to do a 250% gain. That is nearly a 4 times gain. If you put in $10,000 here, you have about $35,000 up here, which is bloody massive. And then Bitcoin immediately retraces down, and we haven't had this. Within 5 days, it falls down by 43%. We haven't had anything like that. We've not had anything like that during this rally, and then immediately afterwards it recovers up by 50% in the space of 20 days. We haven't had that kind of price action in this market. That's the point. You know, if this was actually a market cycle, you know, a bullish, exponential, parabolic market cycle coming to an end, I think it would end like that. Now, it's possible to end in any way. You know, don't get me wrong. It can end in any way. But they usually would end like that. You know, and with Bitcoin, they've never ended any other way. You know, this is just one of them. Let me show you another one real quick, just to prove this point to you, that this is a characteristic. This is not me talking shit, you know, just because I want to feel like there's more left for Bitcoin. This was the previous time that Bitcoin topped out. Look at this. This is a massive rally to the upside. There isn't any consolidation. There's no distribution up here. There's a big rally up. There's a big crash. Take a look at this. Like, from this low up to the all-time high, it takes 12 days to triple in price. And then immediately after that, it takes 2 days to drop down by 30%. And then immediately after that, it takes 4 days or so, 3 days to rally up by 46%. This is extreme price action. This is very, very intense price action, right? And then you start, you know, falling way back down. You're having big dead cat bounces. This is what, and there's another one. Look, I can keep going on. I mean, there's so many instances of this happening. Another bull market coming to an end right here. Look at how high Bitcoin goes, right? Let me measure this up again. From this, you know, consolidation up to the all-time high, Bitcoin rallies up by 450% in 20 days, and then it immediately crashes down by 80% in a week. This is going back to 2013. I mean, this really puts it into perspective for you guys, hopefully, how a bull market for Bitcoin ends. You know, other markets, they can end in different ways, but Bitcoin, throughout its whole history, has never ended a bull market cycle the way people are saying we've done so right now. Maybe that means we're making history right now. There's always a first time, whatever. I get it. I don't see it, though. I definitely don't see it. It just doesn't line up. And so if we take it back to our market right now, and I really just put this in, you know, very clear comparison for you guys, you know, we're not getting swings like that. You know, this was the peak. This was supposedly the all-time high that we're starting a bear market from. Bitcoin took 11 days to drop 26% compared to, you know, 5 days to drop 40%. You know, I mean, it's not even similar. The dead cat rally, 16 days to go up by 24%. You know, I mean, the numbers are only about half of what we saw in 2017, and at that, it was not an explosive rally to the upside. No, it was nice, controlled rallies where we're finding retracements, we're establishing support, and then moving back up. That's not how a bull market ends, in my opinion. I'm very happy to be wrong about that. That's completely fine because, as I said, you know, I mean, I was selling Bitcoin anyway, regardless of if that's where the bull market ends. I'm taking my profits. I started selling my Bitcoin holdings. You guys already know I even bought a house with that money. That's how serious I was about taking profits in these markets. So, you know, maybe I am wrong, maybe not, whatever. But, you know, that is my thought on the all-time high for the market. And hopefully that clarifies it all a little bit for you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. We're up to 4,200 viewers. If you're enjoying this analysis so far, if you're finding it at all useful, smash up those likes. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you are new around here. We are all about giving you these real looks into the market. You know, I'm a trader. I'm a regular trader at that. I need to make sure that I've got honest analysis with myself and these markets. If not, I'm stabbing myself in the foot, stabbing myself in the chest even, and you know, and I wouldn't be doing myself or you guys justice. So of course feelings will be hurt. You know, you will start questioning your decision making a lot, and that's how you know that you're getting better as a trader. You know, one of the key points that I have to make to people is a lot of people, they see traders, they see people like myself who are relatively young, quite successful. Like I said, I mean, up here in the Hollywood Hills, I think somewhere, if I no there is the LA sky. I mean, it's a cool place, got a good life, and people look at people like that when they want to start trading, and they think that actually this is not a tool for wealth, this is a lottery ticket, and that's how a lot of people look at it. And of course I'm here to tell you the obvious, where this is not a lottery ticket and you actually need to work quite hard on it. It's just that if you do that work quite well, you stand to get to where you want to be very quickly. That's what I was able to achieve. That's what many others are able to achieve. But if you take that lottery ticket mindset into it, which I used to do, you're just not going to be treating this game correctly. And that comes down to the question, this is difficult. What did you expect? You know, you're still trying to shortcut your way to immense wealth. The Dogecoin rally is over. You know, it's already been done and gone. You know, you're not getting lucky like that anytime soon, most likely, because, you know, like I said earlier on in the stream, luck cannot be reproduced. You know, good luck with where that's going to take you, because on this linear chart right here, on this real chart of Doge topped out, my friends. Doge topped out at 76 cents and it's now down to 34 cents. It's collapsed by more than half. Where is your relief rally? You know what I mean? Like this is a coin that doesn't even have you know, the fundamentals that Bitcoin has, and so on. You know, I mean, it's just a joke. And so you know, these luck things are over. Where is the skill? If you've got skill, it's rising to the surface. VIP members are demonstrating that at a profit during this crash. This is where everyone's losing money. Those of you who've been able to build skill during this time, who've been able to you know, teach yourself how to trade safer, how to exercise more discipline, because there's a whole psychological battle that goes on with that kind of stuff. These people are rising up to the top right now. That, I think, should really show you something about how powerful these healthier, sober approaches in these markets are compared to those people who are just trying to grab a lottery ticket and see what happens. You know, I mean, both are fine, whatever. You know, it's a healthy, functioning market, but which side do you want to be on? That's that's me for the motivational talk. What's the absolute bottom that I see Bitcoin reaching? $20,000. If Bitcoin falls below 20,000, I would be very, very concerned. Doge is over. What about Shiba coin? I mean, you know, it's all a joke in my opinion. I don't even know if that question was a joke, but yeah, I don't take any of them seriously. Someone's saying take a look at the crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. So, and it looks like a blow off top. I mean, of course it looks like a blow off top. How do I see market cap for crypto, by the way? Exclude BTC, that's the one. Looks like a market top. I mean, you know, of course it looks, I mean, this is a blow off top, and of course it looks like that. First of all, let me measure this drop. This is down by 50%, and to current prices, to current valuations, down by 40%. You know, I mean, this looks like, and I'll tell you why this looks like a blow off top but not Bitcoin. This looks like a blow off top because there was no reason to buy these coins. It was only speculative interest. People have reasons to buy Bitcoin, and so they don't get so scared of selling Bitcoin. Now, occasionally when it rains, it pours and you get massive collapses like we saw 2 days ago, but for the most part, that's regular for these markets. Bitcoin is more immune from those kind of things because there's real reason to buy it, so it holds levels with more stability. That makes it safer. That means your money is safer. These kind of things, they crash and they don't recover. You know, some of them will recover, the top 10, top 20, whatever, maybe you get lucky and you spot them. Most of them won't. Most of them won't recover, and you know, running with that analogy of just sitting there holding your dick in your hand, you're going to be waiting for them to recover for like 2 years, while people like myself, people like these VIP members are actually grabbing these opportunities and really running with them. So of course it looks like a blow off top. The reason for that is because there is no reason for people to be buying these assets. So as soon as the reason of interesting, you know, speculative gains starts looking like you've lost that reason, nobody's going to be interested in these markets anymore. There you go. It's a harsh reality. Are you going to face it or not? So thank you for pointing that out to me, to the person in the comments. At which point would I concern about Ethereum? I'm not sure I understand your question, but let's go to some Ethereum analysis before I switch back to your question shortly. Once again, thank you all for tuning into this stream. Do appreciate all of you turning up once again. Like I said yesterday, I was talking about the Bitcoin dump from $38 and $42,000, more so from 38. We've now had that little dip, so no surprises there. If you tuned into the previous live stream, you would have known all about that. If you want to continue watching these live streams, then do make sure to hit up that subscribe button, click that like button if you do find these videos useful as well. It would mean a lot to me, and just a little click for you as well. So thank you all very much. As for Ethereum, you know, I don't see any real support on this. You know, this is why I was so happy to sell up here. I mentioned that if we do crash down, the only real support I was seeing was 2,000. That's exactly where Ethereum bounced up from. That was pretty impressive. You know, there's no real resistance that Ethereum established on the way up. You could say that there's a little bit around 2,500, but it's just not very strong in my opinion. So until and unless Ethereum falls down here, I don't think it's got any interesting levels. That's not necessarily a bad thing though, because if things start getting bullish in this market again, it means that Ethereum has no resistance on the way back up. It means that, you know, Bitcoin is probably going to struggle to rise up now because it has so much resistance because it was trading sideways, which by the way makes it very, very healthy and easy to trade. So you can see how this is actually painting a beautiful image. Something like Ethereum right here, practically no resistance, which means that in my opinion, it should have actually quite an easy time rising up, but that's all I can say about it. Once a rise starts getting initiated, it should be quite easy to keep that fueled up for Ethereum. For Bitcoin, I think it's going to be a little bit harder. Ryan in the comments, Fourflies is a great teacher. Give him props, Sammy Loyal. Thank you very much. Although I'm not sure if you know, but I'm the same person. Fourflies is the YouTube channel name. My name is Sammy Loyal. So I wish I didn't spend that Bitcoin on Silk Road years ago. A lot of people have regrets like that, and you know, my answer to this is, look, how could you have known that this could happen? You know, you probably made the best decision, you know, especially to the people who bought Bitcoin at say 200, sold it at 1,000. You still made a 5 times return. You know, the fact that Bitcoin now is at $40,000, $30,000 doesn't matter, because you wouldn't have been able to know that back then. You made the best decision you could have. We're not looking for luck where, you know, you buy Bitcoin, you forgot it on a wallet, 10 years later it's a shitload of money. You can't get that kind of luck. You can't influence it. You either get it or not. What you can influence is your skill level. Can you reproduce those kind of results on a much more frequent basis in this market? That's where the trading comes in. I am getting very hungry. I've not eaten today. I've just done my workout before this live stream. I need to go for some food. Someone's saying you should have found my page months ago. I'd be up crazy high. You know, that's completely fine. This page is not going anywhere. This YouTube channel is not going anywhere. I've been in this market for 4 years. So here you go. You found it now, and let's make the most of it while you're here. So you know, we're in for a sweet ride. Whether this is going up or down, this analysis is going to keep coming at you guys every single day. Shout out to those of you who are already subscribed. We're all about it. You know, I mean, it's beautiful to trade. I don't want to stop right now. I mean, it's just, I've been thinking a lot about it during this market, and here you go. Someone's saying that it's pizza time. Maybe. I don't think so though. I've been a lot healthier since since arriving into the US. I was actually, originally I came to the US and I hadn't had Chick-fil-A for over a year, so I was super excited to just do all the stupid American stuff, but I've now toned it down a little bit. Fourflies is a legend, thank you very much. What about BitTorrent? No idea. Cardano is $1,000 in 2025, tell them. Okay, whatever. How do I feel about Elrond? No thoughts. What's my thoughts on Link? So, I mean, Link has crashed down massively, but I think it really is at the mercy of Bitcoin. It moves a lot more with Bitcoin. It's got good support here, actually. Decent support. I'm getting deja vu right now. It's got decent support. I'd actually like to see where a Fibonacci would put Link at right now. So let me take a look at that on the daily time frame, because I think a Fibonacci retracement could be quite reliable for Link right now. Just a hunch. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Let me go ahead and try it real quick. Where does that put us? Okay, let's zoom in onto the 4 hour. Okay, so we have had some interactions with this Fibonacci. That hunch did prove to be at least slightly correct. 382, very, very important Fibonacci level. That's exactly where Link massively topped out. In fact, it topped out about 35, fell all the way down to 21. So that's a big, big all-time high drop from there. Then found resistance at 236. So this was a very reliable Fibonacci retracement. And most importantly, on the way back down, this 382 level initiated a big bounce. So any of you guys who've been using this tool in this Link market would have found it to be very reliable. This call from the 382 line all the way up to the 236 line, a very easy, predictable 17% rise. When the market is dropping, I would be looking at levels like the 382 Fibonacci or 618. These are the most important Fibonacci levels in the market, in my opinion. Most people will also agree with that, and that's absolutely great because it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so if the price of Link were to fall down to the 382 level, I would expect to trade it up to the next key Fibonacci level only. I would not go higher than that because that's where it starts becoming more risky. And so a long off the 382 level at $36 would be closed at $42 on the 236 level, and that's a 15% rise. That 15% rise on a little bit of leverage starts looking very, very sexy. 15, 16, 17% rise. I would have used maybe 3 times leverage, 5 times leverage if I'm being very aggressive. You know, 17% times 3. You do the math because I can't. I'm terrible at math, but that would be a very, very impressive rise. I want to break that down. Actually, no, let me know in the comments if that made sense. If it didn't make sense, I'm going to break down that Fibonacci stuff again for you guys because I think that is quite important. Mark Osborne, a new GT3 is called for. I am so tempted. I'm so tempted. They look absolutely spectacular. So I wish you could get a manual GT, because my GT3 that I have out in Dubai, it's got a manual transmission. I wish you could get a manual one as a convertible. That would be heaven. That would really be very cool. What about ICP? Never heard of it. Sorry. Can I talk about Litecoin? A lot of you guys have been asking for Litecoin, so I will take a look at it. Looks like most of you guys did understand that Fibonacci analysis, so I won't repeat that. I'm kind of relieved because it's difficult to talk about. Would love to see me review Ethereum. I was just looking at Ethereum. You can rewind the live stream like 10 minutes, you'll see that. Is BNB any good? I mean, it's great to trade apparently, but I don't think that it's so good long term. Like long term, I mean like a couple of years. I wouldn't be surprised if Binance ended up getting shut down or something. See, I do see your comments about Ethereum, and I've already looked at Ethereum. Just rewind the live stream a little bit. All right, people spamming are just gonna get blocked. I don't know how many times I need to repeat that because you're just ruining it for everybody. A lot of questions about Litecoin and XRP, so I'm gonna be the people's man today. I'm gonna take a look at Litecoin. Finally, everyone's been asking for this for a long time. Let's see what's going on with Litecoin today. Wow. Okay, so well, Litecoin's dropped a lot more than Bitcoin, hasn't it? Oh no, similar drop. Okay. You know, guys, the reason I don't like looking at Litecoin is that it's really hard to analyze. I know my limitations and I know my strengths, and I stick with my strengths and I don't entertain my limitations, and I can't analyze this chart. The best I can tell you is that there's a little bit of support right here, a little bit. I have no clue where this can bounce from though. I'm sorry. I can give you moving averages. I can maybe even talk about Fibonacci retracements. Let's go ahead and do that. But for the most part, this is a very difficult coin to analyze. This is very difficult. We've fallen below the 618 level. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't analyze this coin. This is difficult. It's interacted very well with Fibonacci levels. I drew this Fibonacci from $42 up to $413. And you know, looking at this, it's interacting with Fibonacci levels beautifully, which means that perhaps if it rises up, this is the only thing I can say. If Litecoin rises up to 184 again, I might expect some resistance here. And if it drops down lower, that would be a massive catastrophic drop, in my opinion, that we could be ready to see just off this Fibonacci retracement. I'm sorry, resistance. If it manages to rise above 618, I would be looking at it rising up to 227. Just because this Fibonacci is so reliable, I would probably trade entirely based off it, just because it's so reliable. Beyond that, and I mean, that's decent analysis, but beyond that, I really don't know what else I can say. This is not an easy coin to analyze, and I don't know why. It never moves in particularly predictable ways, in my opinion. Make sure to see the night market before I leave LA. What's the night market? Is that something special? What about Swissborg? I'll take a look at Swissborg in a moment. It's doing pretty badly again, unfortunately. Let's see what else we have here. Cardano I will look at as well. Let's take a look at Cardano now, actually, because I'm curious. Yeah, not much. I mean, this is one of those things where like it's got a little bit of support right here because this is where it peaked many times. But I don't know what else I could say about Cardano right now. That doesn't look very clear. Let's take a look at XRP. XRP looks good. XRP right now is at a support level. Granted, I hate XRP. It's a complete joke shitcoin in my books, but I'll trade it and I'll analyze it because it can make me money, right? At the end of the day, we're only here to make money. It's got some good support here. This is where XRP consolidated on the way up, and it found massive, massive bounces here multiple times. This is support, so potentially buying in this range for XRP to go up, but more importantly than that, if XRP falls below this support, it's going to be a big drop in my opinion. I mean, it's going to have to find support somewhere else, and that could be beautiful to trade. So I mean, actually there's a lot of support here, so that's not going to be easy. Let's take a look at the VPVR. This is an indicator that I use to forecast where some support or resistance might be on this chart, and let's see what that is saying. This is very hard to show. All right, so we're getting, yeah, it's really not showing us a whole lot. Bear with me because there's that one really weird spike at the beginning. There should be good support around 46 cents. Maybe, I mean, XRP. If there's anything that can drop down that low, it's XRP. So basically, I mean, that's I don't want to go too in depth because I don't trade it too much, but it's got some support right here. It's good support. I mean, it's triggered big reversal, and these are big reversals. I mean, you know, what did it do? Like double off this, nearly double off this support level. So I mean, this is big support. This is no joke. So I think that if XRP could fall below this, just because it would mean losing such a big area of support. It's like if Bitcoin fell below 50, and I'm saying it's going to go down to 42. That's exactly what I see with XRP right now as well. It's exactly what I see. Great explaining, thank you very much. Glad you're liking it. We've looked at Cardano, looked at Ethereum, XRP. If there's anything else that you want me to take a look at before I head off, I will do so, but I am getting a little bit hungry. If you're new to this market, by the way, and you want to trade these coins, then Bybit is the place to be. You can trade everything I've just spoken about just there. You've got Ethereum, you've got Litecoin, you've got Cardano, you've got ADA, which is what we looked at just a moment ago. We've got XRP. Everything is here for you to trade. You know, even futures contracts where you don't have to pay any fees trading Bitcoin. There's a link for you to sign up to Bybit down below. And crucially, when you use my link there with a new sign up, you're going to be getting access to a deposit bonus, which is up to $1,600, up to $1,600 that you get completely free of charge, depending on how much you deposit. So you can actually use that money to trade. You can earn more money with it. Any profits that you make on top of that free money, you get to keep. You can withdraw those profits. That is very, very cool. They're very reliable, much more than Binance or anything like that. And I always say it's worth investigating, you know, alternatives to your own exchange, just so that you're well diversified. I think that's very, very important. So, you know, definitely well worth checking out. I'm in the US right now, so I'm using a VPN. Never heard of any issues, even with other people who do that. But of course, I can't endorse it. Check it out with the link below. There's also a tutorial if you want to learn a little bit about how to use Bybit there as well. You guys are requesting a lot of, is Bybit available in Europe? Yes. You guys are requesting a lot of different coins, and I have to reiterate that this is not a YouTube channel for these kind of altcoins. So I analyze them mainly as exceptions. I do trade them occasionally, but I'm mainly just trading Bitcoin and Ethereum because I find that these are the safest. And look at that dump that I mentioned towards the beginning of this live stream. That's fully happened now. That is it. It's already, yeah. That dump has now happened. I said it earlier on in this live stream, so shout out to those of you guys. If you have been in this live stream since I said that we could dump down during this live stream, if you've been here since then, hit up the likes, subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments. Just write a comment saying I've been here since you said it, something like that. I'm curious to know how many of you stuck around since I said that, because that is very impressive. That makes me look very smart. So that's very cool. Yeah, I was saying earlier on in this live stream that this thing could break down, relatively soon, start heading towards 30,000. Looks like that dump has now been initiated. So very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, it's good price action. It's healthy. It's moving as expected, and that is great in my opinion. That is very, very cool. Yeah, a lot of you guys have been here since that point. So that is absolutely amazing. I mean, like I said, this is a market that's quite easily predictable right now. You can predict this market fairly easily at the moment. These are not things that we haven't really seen before. Almost all of you guys have been here since then. That's very impressive. So that I think puts us in a very I wouldn't say easy, but a very advantageous position in this market right now, where if you're doing things well, you're going to be rewarded very well. Those of you who put in that preparation, you're going to get there and really, really enjoy it. And if you're a little bit late to it, that doesn't mean you're in bad hands. It just means that you need to learn those things. And one of the fastest ways you can learn it is by watching somebody do it. So I like to think I'm there already. If you want to see how I'm trading these markets, how I decided to sell my Ethereum position, when Ethereum was at around $4,000, it's now dropped by nearly half. How I was making profit on Ethereum on the way back down, and how that's standard procedure for many, many other VIP members. This guy over here at a profit during the crash, bam, 108%, bam, 74%. Learning a lot through VIP, but trading less. Used to be delusional. Probably would have lost this person's entire bank account if they never joined VIP. Thank you very much for that testimonial. Of course, I won't reveal who you are for your own privacy, but I mean, these are just absolutely amazing results that we're seeing across the board right here. Look, 159% profit. This person trading beautifully in this market. He sent me a lot of profits, $80,000 in one trade. Thank you. That was some smooth analysis. And over here, 96% ended up closing at over 100%. You are a legend. Experience in VIP has been life-changing so far, to say the least. Still having a lot to learn, but very glad to have joined the group. A lot of people are on the fence, and when I get messages like this, they used to be on the fence, but now they've pulled results that they haven't even seen before. It is very cool. Not everybody pulls results like this. Of course, some people lose money, some people lose a lot of money even after joining VIP. If you're a gambler, we can't fix that. But people who come into this with the right approach, who are serious about this, you don't need a lot of time, but who put concentration in when you put your time in. I don't know, maybe an hour a day, maybe 10 minutes. I don't actually spend that long analyzing or trading every day if I wasn't a YouTuber. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I'd spend barely any time on this and still trade. It doesn't actually take a lot of time, but you've got all the materials you could possibly need right here on these with these steps on screen. Click on the first link in the description down below, then on the @4flights button to ask me how to join VIP, and then click on send message. Just send me that message, how to join VIP. And if you are curious about all the different plans we offer, and if you want to set up a call with a member of the team or even myself, we can help you figure out if you would be a good fit for 4flights VIP or not. If you think that that's something you might be interested in, you want to get a little bit more detail, perhaps some last reassurance, whatever the deal is, you can also request a phone call at any point, and we will get something set up, usually within the same day or the next day. So definitely do follow these steps to get all that set up. We've got a discount waiting for you as well right now, which is very, very hot. So if you want in, it's your best chance. It's a beautiful market right now. It's fairly easily predictable, and that just makes it even better, even more ripe for trading. We've seen it all across the board. So there we go. Very, very exciting. Gonna take a few final comments and then head off. Once again, I gotta point out that view is absolutely spectacular. Very, very cool. So yeah, that is it's a cool place to be making a video from today. Someone's asking if it costs anything. So joining our free 4flights Gold channel, which is this first link, is completely free. And if you like this analysis, you're going to get even more free analysis by following the 4flights Gold channel. VIP is paid though, and you can get the information on it by following these steps on screen. That's where you get the full access into everything about how I'm trading, the decision making that goes behind it, the VIP library with tutorials, so you can see exactly how I'm even interacting with these exchanges. There's a lot that goes into it, and we have even recently hired a new video producer to give you even more exclusive VIP content. Those of you in VIP, you've now noticed that we're regularly putting out more VIP exclusives in our group. So I'm going to be am I in the Hollywood Hills? I'm in one of the hills. I don't know if it's Hollywood Hills or Beverly or what. It's not my place. Someone else's. So I'm just staying with them for these videos because they're cool setups. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I am actually planning a meetup in LA. I'm leaving here very, very soon, so I'm planning a meetup in LA. And if you want to come to that meetup, then you should probably be following my Instagram profile. It's this on screen right here. My full name, Sammy Loyal, with 1 underscore at the end. There are a lot of people impersonating me, so make sure you get the correct page. And when I'm ready to do that meetup, because I'm a little bit busy just these next 1 or 2 days, I will actually put out the details of it on Instagram, and so make sure you are following that. It will be on my stories, so keep an eye out for that if you are interested. I was actually supposed to do a meetup in Miami, but didn't get a chance to, unfortunately. Alright, well, I'm gonna call it a stream there. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next live stream. Have a good day. Bye bye.